What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Sterling's World, getting your questions answered by people from around the world. So we are still talking about the coronavirus. It is May 4th, and today we have Austria online. My friend Andy is going to talk to us a little bit about what they are doing as far as de-quarantining, steps 1, 2, 3 of that process, and about what has been opening so far. And that's Austria, not Australia, where they got kangaroos. This is Austria, like the governor. But a little update real quick. The world is at 3.6 million confirmed cases. The United States is at 1.2 million, so just under half. And Austria is about 18,000 confirmed cases. They're doing really good, averaging around 5 deaths per day, which is absolutely incredible. Good job to them. We're covering a few quick topics. If you want, again, I have summarized the topics below in the description section. So skip ahead. Don't waste your time on things you don't want to know, but we're covering some really awesome things. Also, I want to give you guys a quick thank you for joining me on this channel. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe as well. Don't miss a World Corona Chronicle. And when this all is over, hopefully soon, we're going to be transitioning to a travel channel where I'm going to get your questions answered from locals who live in the countries you want to go to from around the world. So stay tuned for that. Set the notification. You don't want to miss one of those for sure. If you're going to be traveling, this is clutch to have a local's perspective on where to eat, what to do, stuff like that, so you don't get stuck in the same old tourist traps that we've all been involved in. So stay tuned for those. Stick around. Hope you enjoy this. Hope you learn something informative, and spread love, spread joy. We're all in this together.
Okay.
Here we go.
Good.
Welcome everyone to Sterling's World. Again, still covering World Corona Chronicles. We got Andy, a good friend of mine, a fellow skater in Austria. Andy, what's going on? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, huh?
Yeah, so hey, I'm Andy. I live in Vienna. I'm not an Austrian. I'm actually half Swedish, half German. I was born in Munich, but I pretty much grew up in Austria. And I don't know, what shall I tell about myself? I'm a filmmaker. I'm a filmmaker, a skater.
A pretty all-around cool dude.
Thanks, if you say so. Thanks. Yeah. No, but I mean, life-enjoying dude. I'd say, you know.
And what do you do, man? You edit videos, right? Video
At the moment, because of the coronavirus, I'm pretty much, editing all the time because shooting is not really easy at the moment.
right. I think they even here they shut down Disney. Netflix isn't shooting.
Yeah.
Everything seems to be like on hold at the moment because of the coronavirus.
No, I mean, of course, because shoots are crazy scenarios where they're like, just like lots of people close together, and so it's a hard situation. I mean, oh, you disconnected your camera.
It's reconnecting. I had to plug it in.
Okay, cool.
I had to
Okay, so
charge
no,
it.
I mean, shooting is pretty much impossible because in those scenarios there's just too many people cramped together, and usually there's like maybe old actors, I mean, and since old people are like the most what's it called, endangered group or something, it's pretty much impossible to shoot. I mean, now it's changing, especially in Austria. I sent you two like PDF protocols where I just got them yesterday. I got them in yesterday, like how it's going to change and how shooting is going to change. I don't know if you want to talk about it now or a little later.
Are they in German, or what are they in?
They are in German, yeah, of course. They are gonna be translated sooner or later because there are lots of not German speaking filmmakers and people in Vienna, but this usually takes a few days,
Yeah, Vienna is really international, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it always was, I guess, but it's been, especially in the last 10 years. I mean, I've been here for roughly 14, 15 years, something like this. And it's gotten more international in that time, definitely, for sure. So I work together with lots of like people from everywhere, man. Like from South Africa, from America. I mean, I met you in Austria. Um, People from everywhere, man. I just can't come up with names now, but yeah.
I think it's
No, I
but
mean it's lots of people, So I'm used to talking English all the time because I mean I have lots of friends and yeah, some colleagues that also work in the same.
but yeah, I mean, like Austria in general is one of the most, in Vienna in particular, is one of the most traveled to cities in the world. It has to be, at least in Europe.
Yeah, I mean that's probably because every year we get this funny award, like the most livable city or the best city in the world. I don't know.
Dude, what the hell? Every
Yeah,
city that I've been to in Europe gets this kind of award. I don't know
no, but this one is
who they're
real.
comparing
Look it
it.
up.
Yeah, but Porto last like
Yeah.
2 years ago is the most livable city, and it's been the most livable city in Europe for the last like I don't know 3 years or something.
No, but look up. It's Vienna too. I mean, maybe it's two different magazines,
Yeah, and
whatever.
they just
It's
like
like,
keep jumping back and forth between each other, maybe.
but I mean, from a tourist standpoint, I probably get it, because I mean, it's really beautiful. It's really clean. It's not too expensive, like Scandinavia or like England or like France,
Hmm.
but still very very nice. You have
And
nice
historic as shit. Like you guys
historic.
have Cafe Central where Hitler and Stalin and Mussolini used to chill. I don't know if that's
Yeah, yeah,
if that's like a
and
famous place or not, but
and we have all the music. We have all the classical music, and I mean, it's a cultural. Well, I don't know how do you say it's a rich place.
yeah,
Culturally rich,
culturally rich.
old place also. So yeah, we have lots of people coming here. Not
Not,
right now.
I was gonna
There's
say not anymore though. Speaking of that, what's going on with the coronavirus situation in Vienna? What's up with
okay.
that?
So I mean, shall we talk about the whole situation, how it started, or how it's now?
Yeah, let's talk. Well, I mean, spoiler alert, the lockdown ended, right? Yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. Yesterday,
So
so the lockdown, the official first part of the lockdown was until April 30th.
stage one.
Pretty much stage one. Yeah. So this ended. So yesterday was May 1st, which is also Labor Day in Austria. So no one's working.
Right.
So lots of people were outside
I was gonna
yesterday.
say, can you imagine? Can you go backwards for us? Can you go backwards for us? So like May 1st,
Yeah.
Labor Day,
Yeah.
April 31st, it got lifted. And how strict were the regulations just before it got lifted? And then like as the like how did they progress forwards? We'll just kind of look at it from a
Oh, they
backwards
were
standpoint.
they were pretty constant from the point on when they were established. I mean, the first look, so I mean, I think we have to go back. So I think everything started around the first week of March.
Okay.
So I mean, maybe a little before, because I mean, in Italy, it certainly started earlier, and the Italian border is 500-600 kilometers from here, like 350 miles from here. So I mean, obviously, stuff started to get pretty crazy there pretty quick. So and Austria has like 9 different regions. I call them regions. Like you
Like
have like
states.
states, we have regions because Austria is such a small country. It's around 8 to 9 million what's it called, inhabitants,
People.
people living there, yeah, in Austria.
In all
So
of Austria, so that in perspective, that's like Iowa.
yeah, and we're not, hey, and to everyone, look, we're not Australia. We don't have kangaroos. We have mountains and forts. We
And
are
Rick
not
James.
Swaziland.
And Rick James.
And Rick James at the moment, yeah.
No,
I'm a
okay.
big fan.
Austria, yeah, Austria is where
Yeah,
Arnold Schwarzenegger's from. He was the governor of California. So
yeah. I grew up close to the place where he grew up. Just
the governator.
the
The
governor.
governator.
Arnold. Okay, so now let's go back to. So it was first week, pretty much. Oops, my camera. Sorry for my camera overexposing. Should come down. Okay. So first week of March.
You're a film guy, man. Nobody, I'm pretty sure everyone watching doesn't really even notice it.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sorry, I just have a webcam. No, okay. So everything started to kind of like started to evolve with the first week of March. And so Austria is divided in nine regions, and like the most east region, I mean, there is a little one that's Vorarlberg, but there's like another region that's like bordering to Italy, and that's Tyrolia. And that's where it first started, because that's like the winter tourist hot, the winter tourist hotspot, like Innsbruck is there, and all these famous ski spots, in Austria. And Austria, especially Austrian tourism, is especially known for these areas, for like skiing, around Tyrol.
And these Alps are right there on the border with Italy.
Exactly, that's the Alps, and that's like bordering to Italy. Actually, there is a part of Tyrolia that's called South Tyrolia, and that's actually part of Italy. It's, I don't know when they parted, like between Austria and Italy, and there has always been a fight. So those people, they're living in Italy, but they're speaking Austrian. They have a little funny dialect, but they're actually speaking German with an Austrian or like South Tyrolean dialect, but it's German instead of Italian. And so that's where it actually started, and it really was kind of concentrated there. And it was because we have these, what après ski is?
That's the places you go and get drunk after you ski.
Exactly, it's like a spring break for
après ski is actually French. It's French though.
Yeah, it's after.
Après is after, and ski is
après is after. So it's but in all these ski regions, they have these après ski things, and apparently there was one, it's called Kitzloch, that's like in one of those skiing regions in Tyrolia, where it spread like crazy because they were like partying, and one of the bartenders was, I don't know, and I don't know if I remember everything like perfectly correctly, but I remember this bartender was one of the first that had the coronavirus in there, and he just like spread it to everyone. And so and obviously there were lots of tourists from everywhere in Europe, so lots of Italians, and that's probably the Italians came and kind of spread it there to Austrians and stuff, but also like lots of Scandinavian people.
Plus, it's hard to say like who spreaded it to who. Yeah, there was an outbreak in Italy, but really, like as we just talked about before, Vienna is a very popular touristy place.
Yeah. But the thing was, Vienna was later, because at first it was only in that place.
That's what they say, but are you sure?
Yeah.
No, as he said, as my friend Davide said, in Italy, there were like these weird cases of pneumonia back in end of December, January. And who knows, that could have been the COVID-19 disease happening.
I think so too. Probably. And there's like, I heard about this, from all over the world, that there have been like strange, what's called pneumonia, diseases, and maybe. But just like, let's say the official case, from what we know, was started in Tyrolia, so it was kind of like concentrated there. So this was kind of like it was not locked down already, and the problem was that the Tyrolean government, they kind of hid some information. Some people accused them of trying to get one more week of tourism. And there is an ongoing joke that the Tyroleans, they live off tourism, especially of like German tourists, because like Germany is like also like neighboring to it. So there's like a movie from the 90s, funny Austrian movie from the 90s, that's making fun of Tyroleans because like they're so dependent on the tourism and they do everything for tourism. So
good on them for trying to get an extra week out of it. When you think about who's going skiing and who's actually going to be partying and all that stuff after, it's as we mentioned, it's not the high risk or the endangered. What would you say, the endangered species?
But these people, these people stay for a week and then they go home and then they go.
True. That's very true.
And the problem was, that this area, especially Tyrol, they have been accused from quite a few countries that they were actually kind of a hotspot, and because. So before the lockdown, right before the lockdown happened, lots of tourists just escaped, tried to get the last like flights and everything, and so they were in Innsbruck, in the they got hotels, so all of those people that were already infected stayed at hotels in Innsbruck, and just for one day, we're like everywhere in this region, like they went out of the hotels in the ski regions and went somewhere else because they wanted to get out of that region, try to get the next flight on next day, and yeah.
It was kind of like, it's kind of like what happened in Italy. There was the first cases up there in Milan, and right when the government said we got these cases of coronavirus up there in Milan, everybody jumped on trains and left. But this Davide said this is a problem because they all have it, and then immediately, boom, it's down in Rome, it's down in Sicily, boom, it's like everywhere.
Yeah, so Norway pretty much accused us of, or like Austria accused Austria of like
everybody's pointing fingers. Everyone's pointing
terrible.
it at China. Everyone's pointing it at Italy. Now they're pointing at Brazil, saying the guy's a crazy guy.
I mean,
and I kind of agree. I agree. We'll have Brazil on this podcast shortly, but what he did? He fired like his entire staff, his medical, his lead medical advisor, kind of like our Fauci, whatever his name is, kind of like him. He had a different approach than the president, right? He said, this thing's dangerous. We need to shut down business, shut down things. The president's like, it's not, it's whatever. Next thing you know, the president fires him and then starts firing like half of his staff for warning him it's a bad thing.
Didn't Bolsonaro get it then? I'm not sure, but Bolsonaro, I mean,
the president, crazy. No, it was the speaker of the president.
Oh.
Kind of like our Nancy Pelosi. It was, he got it, and he got it a week after, or a few short days after meeting with Trump. Yeah, actually.
I mean, I mean, probably we would talk about this anyway, but I mean, this is why I think just right now, politics worldwide are a joke, I mean, I don't want to make too much of a statement, but just look at it. So it is what it is. We try to make the best out of it. I mean, I think to come back to the Austrian situation, I think the Austrian government actually handled the situation pretty well after things kind of went to shit in Tyrolia for a week. They actually reacted pretty quick and made everything a lot better pretty soon. So
what happened? What was the progression like then?
So the progression was, first week. So it started around the second week of March, and I'll get the data because I have everything here. So yeah, so the curve started to climb in the second week of March.
Do you have a PDF? Are you looking at like a Word document you put together, or a PDF or something?
No, it's not it's the Austrian news site, and they have like this whole.
Oh, awesome! Send that to me. Send that to me after this.
After this, okay. I'll send it to you because it's like pretty nice, so I can look at all the data. So let me see.
So were the people receptive when they started doing these loose lockdowns the first week in March, whatever, and they started closing some things off? Were the people receptive?
The thing was, within a week, they started kind of like, the first thing was like, wash your hands, right. Practice social distancing. There was no law yet, but because in the background politics were sitting there and writing it, so I think for the first 3 days, that was, let's say, from March 3rd, sorry, I'm mixing up. March 8th, they pretty much said, this thing is getting serious. Wash your hands. No masks yet, so just wash your hands and practice social distancing. So try, everyone that doesn't have to work, doesn't have to go to work, try to work from home.
But they didn't close work down at all, did they? They
not yet. Yeah. But it changed from day to day to day to day. So
right.
I think first thing they closed were the schools. So on Wednesday, which was, I think it was March 10th. I think it was March 10th or 11th, something around that. They closed the schools, or they started to close the schools. They were super unsure of how it's going to work, with parents and stuff. But so they kept the schools. The buildings were open, so kids that had no parents at home could go there and just be somewhere and safe. But then they pretty much closed the school, and they advised to every kid that doesn't have to go to stay at home. And then I think the last day I was outside was April 13th. Or was it? Yeah, it was Friday 13th.
Yeah,
Remember?
Friday. April
Yeah,
13th was Friday, yeah.
it was Friday, April 13th. That was the last day I was out skating. I was skating
And
because a friend
and
of
why
mine
was
had.
and why was that? Was that because they started to implement stricter rules? Like if you leave, you get a
Exactly.
ticket and all this kind of stuff?
Exactly. So from April 14th, the restrictions started.
Hmm.
And
So it kind of took a month. Wait, so they closed the schools
no,
they
no,
closed the
no,
schools
no.
March 10th or
And
March
then
11th, and then April 13th
no,
is when they.
sorry, March 13th. It was 2-3 days later. So
Okay, yeah, got you.
same month. No, and they just that was just the only thing. It was really confusing because they kept saying like different things every single day. But
Yeah,
from
which is
March,
normal. They did that for every country, man. Like
yeah, of course, because they
we're
couldn't.
still we're still not sure because they split us up into states.
Yeah.
So like it
Oh yeah.
wasn't all one collective thing saying don't go outside, put masks on. It wasn't a one collective thing. It was like state to state started to implement their different rules. I didn't
Yeah.
understand it. You know, Florida didn't understand it. Texas was confused. Everyone was just looking around, pointing fingers at whoever, not knowing what to do,
I can't
when
imagine
to
how
do
it.
it, when to do it,
Yeah.
if it's legal, when it's not legal. My dad just told me a week ago that you have to go into a store with a mask. I didn't even know that. So
Mm,
like these things are just changing day to day. We're not sure.
mm,
We can't look at the news because it's national news. So we
yeah.
have to focus on the internet and state to state what's going on.
Yeah. That's maybe the advantage that we're such a small country, and plus the like the state news. There's like one, like there's like the official state news channel. That's really good. They did really good work. They're really transparent, really fast with information. And also the government, we have a new elected government, because we had kind of a right-wing government that went to shit last year because of like a crazy video that like exposed the
You
most
told me about
right-wing
that.
guy of that. It was just crazy. And so now we have a new one part of that right government is back in the government, but it's like more like central right, like conservative. So they have the chancellor, Kurz. He's even younger than me, but I mean he's been okay. And we have the Green Party now, so like left-wing party now in the government. It's crazy.
Oh, because it's kind of
They,
split. You just kind of split. What do you mean? So you have the prime minister or the
the prime
president,
minister is of the like stronger party, the party
right?
that got more votes, but it's a coalition, so it's a green and
Oh, so
purple.
everyone's kind of there together.
Yeah. So but they worked together, and they were pretty transparent and pretty fast and pretty. So they put their egos aside, and they did not do any, like campaigning at the moment. That was cool.
So can you just do a quick recap of the regulations, how fast they were? So let's go
Mhm.
from March. So March 11th they closed
Schools.
schools.
Yeah.
March 13th they suggested or they set rules to say don't no going outside, none of that stuff.
Yes.
And then
March
what's the
14th.
progression? Keep going, yeah.
March 14th was the start of the lockdown. So the official rules, and the official rules were three rules. So they said you can go out for really essential work, for grocery shopping, or for helping people that can't get food or whatever themselves. Those were the only three reasons, and those were the first three reasons.
And how did they enforce those?
Um,
Did you need to sign a piece of
through I mean
paper
through
like in
police,
Italy or no?
no, through police checking, and then if you were caught in one of the wrong, like in the wrong situation. Plus 3 feet distance. So I think we're the ones with the least distance in Europe.
who
Germany
who
was
st- who stands 3 feet away from people anyways?
no man.
That'd be
So no,
kind of
so that was
creepy if someone walked up to me and just stood 3 feet away from me. I'd be like, "Yo, get away from me."
yeah. So but those were the regulations. So if you were closer to a person, closer than 3 feet, so one meter, or if you were in a lockdown zone, which is like if you opened your shop or your restaurants were closed. Obviously, only grocery shops were open at the beginning, and so yeah. So if you were there, you got fines. So, but it was that thing was, and I'll come to that. That was like at first they kind of like the police wouldn't give you a fine right away. They would kind of like sue you. So from let's say $100 to 3,000 euros. Actually, there were like some kids or like moms that got sued for 500 euros because their kids would play with other kids. And so it was really, I mean, Austrian police most of the time are cool and do their job, but some obviously, like in every country, are just assholes.
And when you say sued, you mean they just got like a little piece of paper saying you owe this money?
Yeah, you owe you owe this money. You have to send it in, or you can challenge it, or not pay it and try to get a lawyer and then these were the first three rules that I told you. Oh, let's do it the American way. Because we Europeans, we do like this. This is three, and you guys do like this, right?
Like this, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But then, obviously some lawyers said, hey, this is unconstitutional, so they kind of challenged this new law. So they kind of added one law loosely, which was if you need a fresh breath of air, you can go outside, and you can also do sports if you keep distance, and if it's not a contact sport, and if it's not like on one of the lockdown zones, like all the soccer cages got locked down, for example. We have lots of soccer and basketball cages, and also like skate parks, because I'm like a skater, and all these were locked down. So
but when was this? This was the 14th. This was all the same day.
All this happened on one day, if I remember correctly.
Except for the loose thing, like the exercise thing maybe came a week after.
I think 4 days after. I think on Monday they added the kind of like fourth rule.
And these were tough rules. These were like strict rules until yesterday, or until 2 days ago.
Yes.
Until until the 30th. So this was the whole month. So this was 2.5 weeks of strict lockdown.
The rules didn't change, but the attitude of the people changed a little bit, maybe. But since the curve was going down, and like the reproduction rate, like just like constantly sunk, people got a little more confident to do a few things. Let's say a few things. At first, let's say, I think in the first week, in the first 1-2 weeks, everyone was really like just at home and meeting nobody and stuff. And then people kind of like started, like, let's say a friend went over to another friend and stayed at their place for an evening or something, and some people loosely started meeting, and also me including. I think after 2 weeks, I don't know, what do you call it if you just like stir crazy, right?
I think everyone's getting that now. Here.
I was fucking stupid. And I'm a skater, so I need to move my feet.
Did you hear about these protests going on here?
Yeah.
Huntington Beach is notorious at the moment for protesting. They had a bunch of beach communities that were standing up protesting. There was in Wisconsin, they marched get this, Andy. In Wisconsin, the public officials in the government state house there, they were so threatened by these people that they started to wear bulletproof vests because the protesters were, I guess in Wisconsin you can have firearms on you. So they were like at the Capitol steps with firearms, and the officials working were so scared that they started put vests on. Dude, what do you think about that? Like, when you see Americans doing this kind of thing, what's the representation of us to other people in Europe, for example?
That's a hard one, dude. I mean, now, it changed, especially my view, or my picture of it, or how do you say, my thinking, my standpoint on it, it completely changed. I mean, I was always a fan of American music. If it was Bob Marley or like Jamaican music, if it was whatever English speaking music, then I became a fan of basketball, and then I became a fan of skateboarding, and now became a fan of like Hollywood, like American movies, because I'm a filmmaker. So I always kind of, to me it was always kind of like the greatest country in the world, and I want to go there and stuff, and then. But the more I started to meet Americans, it kind of it changed sometimes, but I think the more I knew about it, the less I idolized it. I mean, and I think that's probably a natural thing. But I mean, you guys have the most awesome people in the world, and you guys have the craziest people in the world, I guess, and so
So like,
going back to your
it's
question, I mean, I I don't know how I should, I don't know enough of your situation at the moment or how you're reacting to it, so I know more about Europe, I guess, Um, but
yeah, but I
I mean,
guess that kind of answers it though, because I
yes,
remember when I was traveling and I would go to different countries and I'd say I'm American. It almost the moment I said that, it would have like a bad taste in somebody's mouth. They I could tell them they would judge me a little bit different. They would wait for me, almost like they were anticipating me to fuck up somehow.
yeah, but I mean, in Austria, in Austria, it's like weird because you have lots of like fans, and if they see a person American, they're like magnets. They just want to talk
Yeah,
to
but I
them.
think that's how it used to be. My brother even said my brothers have also done some pretty cool travels to Barcelona and everything. They're not skaters or anything like that, but I mean, when he said when they used to travel, they said they used to say they're American. People like, oh my gosh, what's that like? How is it there? La, 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 like all this kind of stuff. But I just think recently it's been a little bit more of like a dogma to be from America.
Yeah,
It's almost like not a bad thing, but when you say it, they're expecting you to be a whatever, a douche,
yeah.
I
After the
guess.
millennium, after the millennium, I mean, just lots of stuff happened, and I think that was, and just like your country was just involved a little too often, I think, and then you see just, I mean, and you learn more about certain people, and then I think,
Yeah.
it's probably
But
natural progression, and it hurts at some. I think probably it hurts for you, because I mean, I
it's
love
tough. I really
you're an
hate it.
awesome
Yeah.
dude. You're an awesome dude, and you're well traveled and like knowledgeable dude, And I met like I was in America for the first time in my life actually last year. So and I met lots of like awesome people, but like lots of crazy people too, and lots of like really like shallow people, and I mean it was pretty much like I expected it. So it
Yeah.
wasn't like too big of a surprise. And I love the city. I
LA.
love San Francisco, so that was
Oh,
awesome.
SF.
Got a little tourist.
What is that? Is that a Golden State jersey?
That was no, that's just the hoodie I bought. This was the
Uh-huh.
first thing I bought in San Francisco. 20 bucks.
You know I'm a Lakers fan, right? I'm from LA. I'm a Lakers fan. You can't be
You know, I'm
I might have you go change shirts, Andy. This is getting
I'm
embarrassing
one
now.
of the I'm one of the worst fans because I tend to change. Because I was a worst Warriors fan and now I'm a Lakers fan because they're good now.
So you were a Warriors fan back when they won the 3 championships, and now you're back Lakers, huh?
No, I was always. I mean, when I grew
We'll
up,
take you, man. We'll take you.
no, I'm an
Take you.
OG Michael Jordan fan. So because I grew
There you
up with the
go.
Bulls, you know,
There you go. So
and
yeah, I mean, thanks for giving us your 2 cents on that.
yeah, I mean, I hope I hope I wasn't too hard on it. No, but I
No,
mean,
but it's true, dude. Like
okay,
seriously, I would travel, I would go around, and I would meet Americans traveling. And I left the States. I didn't return to the States for 4 years. I
yeah,
lived in France. I lived in Australia. I was in Southeast Asia, India, Vietnam, all these places, South America. I lived.
yeah,
So when I would meet Americans, it was
mm,
so weird because I started to have that. I'm American, man. I was born in LA. I'm from LA. But when I would meet Americans traveling, I would have this weird perception of them, and they would come off very arrogant. They would come off with this
dude,
like super strong ego, big personality, which is fine if you have a good heart. But when you're coming out like I'm American, motherfucker, what's up? Then it's
yeah,
like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, don't I would get mad. I remember Vietnam, I got mad at some dude for this. And I'd be like, yo, I don't care what you are, where you're from, who you are. Be a cool person. Don't come off as
yeah.
some arrogant
Don't be
prick.
loud. Some people are just loud.
Or
Just
you
be
could
like,
be opinionated. You could be
yeah,
opinionated. Be super
that's fine.
opinionated. That's fine. But have some empathy. Have some room for other opinions as well.
Mm,
If you're gonna state your opinion, and by the way, if you're watching this and you think I'm a dick, whatever, like go travel and talk to people. And when you say you're American, look at their face and see what really happens. But like, be opinionated, be outspoken, be loud, whatever, but have some room to absorb other people's opinions as well,
yeah,
because you can be opinionated, but you have to have room for other people's opinions as well, even if they're different opinions than yours. So they're
yeah,
different. Agree to disagree. That's
yeah.
cool. That's a cool person.
So this is because I'm a skater and I was in Barcelona many times because Barcelona is like the skate mecca.
Yeah.
That's where kind of like my perception about American skate has really changed, because it's full of American skaters because they all like to travel there because it's like a skate park and it's like easy, and blah, blah, blah. But I met so many people there that would refuse, that would live there for 3-4 years, that would refuse to speak a word of Spanish. And that was just, stupid, stubborn. I don't know. And then, and that was like, okay, but like one of the guys was Kenny Hughes. And I don't know if you remember him. He was a Element Pro. Great skater, and I always idolized this guy. I was like, oh, such a great skater, such a nice part in the Element video. And then I met or kind of saw this dude in Barcelona acting out in front of people, and I just thought, wow, okay, this is the biggest asshole, the biggest, like so full of himself, and doesn't want to speak a word of. Or then other people tell me, yeah, but this dude's been living here for 4 years and he can't even order a beer in Spanish. So what the fuck?
Wow.
So yeah, I
I
mean,
always thought that's the best thing to do when you go to a country, is to learn a little bit of their language so you can at least say hi and greet someone.
yeah. And
Like I
una
could say
cerveza, por favor.
servus digga.
Yeah. Und ein Bier bitte. Ein Bier bitte. Is
Ein
one
Bier
beer,
bitte,
yeah.
Dankeschön. Yeah, but just learn a little bit. Uh, I think the biggest part is to have that empathy, have that soft spot, that you're not, be vulnerable, make yourself look a little bit like a fool by speaking their language, and it'll humble you to the point where people will like to hang around you, like to be a part of your life and what you do, because you're humble enough to embarrass yourself, make yourself look like a fool, but you're a strong enough person to know that's not everything.
But I think, if you stay outside of your bubble, that also means if you travel outside of your bubble, because yeah, I mean, you can travel with your American friends or with your American family like every year and it won't really change. But I think if you are traveling outside of your bubble, those things kind of come naturally at a point, at least at a
Yeah.
point. If you are an asshole, let's say if you're an asshole and you find out like, oh, I'm going to travel on myself, then you probably,
You're going to be a traveling asshole.
yeah, but you're gonna at some point you're probably gonna become more what's it called? Empathic. I hate
Empathetic,
that word.
yeah,
Empathetic.
a little bit
Empathetic.
more understanding, yeah.
Yeah, because you will see, and at some point you will struggle in your travels, and you will have
Yeah,
time to reflect. Like we
that's
have
so
now.
true.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love the fact that I can call up my friends and talk about anything, really. You and I, Andy, I think out of a lot of people, just because we share so much in common as far as like traveling, skating, our
Mhm.
attitudes, we could talk forever. But
Yeah.
let's jump back over to the coronavirus real quick.
Yeah.
So we talked about government action, kind of the progression of things. Everything's open right in time for your Labor Day. So I'm sure everyone was like cabin fever and just went out yesterday like crazy.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
what are they doing as to approach testing? What are they doing for that? Are they testing everyone? Do they have the heat guns? What are they doing? What are they up to?
um, so testing was ramping up to the time, but they never got they never approached their goals, like how many tests they wanted to do. And I can actually look it up. So it's 9 million citizens in Austria, and I can look up how
Dude, there's
many.
more people in my city.
I know, and there have been 269,000 tests altogether.
269,000
Yeah, altogether.
altogether. Are those the confirmed cases, or are those altogether
No, those
tests?
are the
Just the
tests.
test, the amount of tests.
Exactly.
But that's because also there's some limitations. There were some limits on the test. Like they weren't able to get enough. Every country in
Exactly.
the
And though,
day, every
and
country in the
also,
world was ordering them.
yeah, and they didn't, and we had this Corona hotline, and so this was also established pretty soon. So you had this Corona hotline, pretty simple number you could
Right.
call, and this where you would, talk to those persons, and if you had like little symptoms, they would suggest if you could get tested or if you should just quarantine for 14 days.
Got you.
But some people were just advised to quarantine even if they had slight symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
but weren't tested. So because I think there weren't enough tests.
Yeah, it happened here as well. They were sending people home. They're like, "You are confirmed to have it, but we don't have the test, and we're not going to report it either." So I'm sure there are a lot higher cases than we were assuming to begin with. But
Oh yeah, but they
now,
did. Sorry to interrupt, but they
you're
did
good.
these tests. They did this kind of random tests. They chose different groups where they would just test everyone in that group to try to
Mm,
kind of estimate how big the actual numbers are, and they're around 4 to 8 times higher than they actually are. So that's what they
yeah,
estimate.
that's what they estimated here as well. And in Italy, they said 5 to 10 times higher or whatever.
Yeah. So that's what
Um,
they kind of like estimated.
and did you know anyone yet who's got the?
Me personally,
Yeah, do you know anyone who had it?
no one.
Do you have friends that are doctors? Anything like that?
I have friends that are doctors. Yeah.
They haven't gotten it though.
No.
Okay.
And the
Well, then
Austrian,
are they taking it super serious in the hospitals, or like do they
yeah,
have
yeah.
like the full suits
Hospitals,
and all?
hospitals were super serious, so they stopped, people like visitors like right away, so no one could visit anyone, and they would separate, the cases and start testing like really heavily in the, especially in the most endangered group, and but apparently our health system was never at the limit, so we're kind of lucky in that way. But I mean, I have the official numbers here if you want to get them for a
Yeah,
second.
shout them out, shout them out.
Yeah. So it's 269,000 tests, 269,619 tests. It's 15,512 positive tests. So positive, meaning no symptoms or symptoms. And 7,082 sick people, including people in hospitals. Then 314 people in hospitals without the what's the craziest part in the hospital, the emergency room, or
Critical care,
critical care,
critical
and
condition.
114 in critical condition,
Hmm.
and 567 deaths so far.
567 total.
Yeah, total in Austria.
Okay. I
And
wonder
that's
how proportionate that is. You know what I mean?
to
To
Europe
all,
or
yeah, to the other, well, to every other country, because you have
oh, it's
9 million. You have 9 million people. For example,
yeah.
you have 9 million people. We have 11 or 13 million in LA County and LA, and I think our death toll in LA reached 1,100 today.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, we will never know. And
True.
those, and the most important thing is about those numbers, the 567 is where it's proven that the COVID is the cause of the death.
Right.
So if they had other illnesses, whatever, cancer and stuff, and this was heavier, they were like on the, velvet string, and they were almost gone, and COVID wasn't really the reason, and they didn't count it in. So
Oh,
it's
so they were saying like if you had it, but you were pretty much on your way out, we're just gonna say you were on your way out
exactly
to
no, but they
keep the numbers
tested. I
down a
mean,
bit.
they did abductions and stuff, and they tested
Right.
pretty, I think, pretty good. So
Okay.
but
Right on.
those are the definite coronavirus deaths.
Hmm.
567, and I don't know the percentage of the age percentage, but it's most of them are over 70 years old.
I think that's pretty normal in most of these countries.
Yeah.
How we're happening. The endangered species, as you said before.
Yeah, and right now we have, right now we have 1,782 left, like officially sick in all of Austria.
In critical condition.
No,
Oh, just sick.
sick,
Just sick. So what do you
positive
think?
sick.
What do
Yeah.
you think now? You saw there was a bunch of people out yesterday. What do you think? You think there's going to be a second kick of this thing?
I'm not
I
sure,
mean,
dude. I mean,
statistically speaking, yes, there's going to be.
there's gonna be what I think is, and the Austrians, and I think I told you this already on in some call or something. The Austrians are kind of like the Germans, so we abide the law pretty much. So
Law-abiding citizens.
yeah, we're law-abiding citizens. So I mean, now of course there's more people outside, but everyone still tries to kind of maintain the distance,
And
you
they
know,
got
and not
do they got
everyone.
masks on or no?
Oh yeah, so we have, so we don't have to wear masks outside, but lots of people just choose to wear a mask outside. But in all shops and in metros and in tramways and buses, you have to wear masks, and that's
Okay.
ongoing. So that's part of the ongoing things, and plus they opened up all the shops today, all even the malls, because like 2 weeks ago,
Restaurants as well or no?
no. So 2 weeks ago, so they try to kind of like open up the country in 2 week steps, because
Okay.
they can, you know, because like the incubation time is kind of like max 10 days, so you can kind of like
Sure.
um
See if it's
react to it.
working and react appropriately
Yeah.
if a breakout
So
happens.
So 2 weeks ago, I think they opened up the construction stores, because we have so many farmers, you know, and they live of their harvest and stuff, so they need
Hmm.
this stuff, you know. So construction stores and little stores, like under 400 square meters, were also allowed to open up with really strict restrictions. So only, I think, you know, it depended on the size of the store, like how many people could be inside and how long they could stay inside, and they had to wear masks. And yeah, so because like the first 2 weeks everything was online, so like the skate shops were, let's say a skate shop is a small shop, you know, that had to be closed. They could do online sales, and then 2 weeks after they said, okay, little stores can like open up, but no hairdressers, no you know, no barbers, no makeup, all that's still closed. So now, so yesterday, no, actually today, because yesterday was Labor Day, because so there was no work, shops weren't open. So today, all the malls and everything open that's bigger than 400 square meters.
Man, we're gonna really see what happens in about a week.
And in 2 weeks, they said they wanted to start opening restaurants and hotels.
Hotels even.
Yep.
And
But for
our
like,
contact businesses open, like bowling alleys,
no,
nothing like that, no.
I mean, no one bowls in Austria.
All right, bad example.
No, but I mean,
All right,
but
like
sports places,
haircut, for example, haircutting places, barbershops.
I think, in a week or 2 weeks, I'm not sure, not yet. So
They'll
they
open with
also have,
restaurants probably.
yeah, they're open with restaurants with
Okay,
really strict restrictions.
sweet.
And also, like, we can go over, I think, you know, the shooting also, you know, if you want to shoot, because I think that's something that I do, that
Photo shooting.
doing
Let's be clear. You're
video
talking to Americans.
video
Let's be clear.
shooting.
We're talking to Americans.
Oh, no, no, no
Don't
gun.
just say
I'm shooting everyone by gun, you know. Oh no, I mean, Austrian.
shooting will be open in about 2 weeks.
No, we can now. Film shoots, we're
Okay.
allowed to shoot from now. You want to hear the rules?
Yeah, read them real quickly though. Like
Okay,
no,
I'll just go
because
over it really.
I'm gonna post them. I'm gonna post them online, and people can probably translate them if they want.
Okay, cool. No, but like just like really quick. So there's two categories. One is like more commercial shoots, you know, like say like advertisement shoots, and the other is like episodic television and films. So I mean, obviously, you know, the teams can't be bigger than 25 persons, including everyone, so including crew and actors. There has to be at least 4 square meters per staff member. You have to hire extra people for that take care of, you know, that everyone takes the looks at the distance and washes their hands and puts on masks. You have to get, for every person, you have to get like disinfection stuff, like disinfection equipment and everything. So, you know, that just adds costs that probably the client has to take. And then for actors, it's crazy. So they advise, if there's more than two, if there's one and more actor in front of the camera, they have to have 2 meters distance, so 6 feet. And then they advise, but you can, and that's the funniest, but you can cast two actors that live in the same household, because then they have no restrictions at all. Because all the time, also outside, I could take my roommate and I could go outside with him and kiss and hug and shit, and then it wouldn't matter because we're roommates. And
Yeah.
they would, if they catch you, they would check your details, and they look if you're, registered under the same address, and then everything's fine.
Oh, cool.
So no, but so they
So let's just hope you have a hot roommate.
Yeah, or for us to shoot, which is the thing, is casting two actors of the same household it's impossible.
Right.
So this is bullshit. Yeah, so and it just says, no one can touch the equipment, take gloves, wear masks at all times.
So this actually, what you're reading right now, doesn't just apply to you and small filmmakers. This applies to Netflix. This applies to all the big people there as well, right?
No. This is the small one. So this applies to the small group, to the
okay, the independent filmmaker
shoots.
people.
Let's say,
like this.
commercial shoots. Let's say like small sets, let's say we shoot a small car commercial or small commercial for Milka, for like a small brand or something, or music video.
Oh, don't say Milka, man. I'm hungry.
Oh yeah. Milka's good, huh? Good chocolate. So these are like the easier ones, okay? So you have to, let's say hair and makeup has to get, the equipment for every single person, and has to get rid of it after they used it all on those people.
Got you.
But now we come to the people that shoot Netflix and episodic television and film.
Oh, these are the big people. Okay, this is going to be curious. I'm curious about this.
This is crazy. So they're split up into a 3-zone model. So the set is split up into 3 zones. So there's zone 1, which is the closed set. And actually it's so funny. Actually, in one of the things they write, like zone 1 is like if you shoot a sex scene, it should be handled as if you shoot a sex scene. As many people should be on set as if you shoot a sex scene, because that's usually very delicate. With actors, there's no one there that shouldn't be on set. So director, camera, and that's
audio,
it.
Audio, and that's
audio, and the actor. Yeah, audio. Oh, okay. So it's
that's After Effects. You add that stuff in, actually, don't you?
Yeah.
Voiceover.
That's right. Suggest also the noises. No, but so it's 3 zones. It's 3 zones. So zone 1 is closed set. Zone 2 is around it, obviously, and zone 3 is like all around it. So everyone in zone 1 has to be tested and has to do antibody tests. If they already had it, they are clear, obviously, because they are
immune.
If they didn't have it, then everyone in zone 1 has to pretty much quarantine and self-distance for the whole time of the shoot. So if it's 30 shooting days, it's usually, let's say, 40 days, in all. So you have weekends in between. So for that time, you can't really meet anyone. If you go outside, if you come back in, you have to test again, and then
they close off the sets, like you in the trailer, like what you see, for example, in Hollywood, is they got their own trailer and all this stuff on the set.
Dude, I wish Austria was Hollywood. We don't have trailers, but
well, what do you mean? Then they get to go home to their house and then come back to the set?
Yeah, they get transferred to the house, and so they have the same driver, the same car.
Okay.
There's 1 actor per car, or 1 actor per row if it's a bus.
Got you.
And it's just, it's actors of 1. So the main actors are in zone 1. The extras might be in zone 2. So they are separated at all the time. So let me see really quick what's really, really, really important. Yeah, so zone 1 is extras that have to be in zone 1. Director, camera operator, the assistant director, assistant to camera, assistant to sound guy. No, the sound guy doesn't. No, the sound guy isn't. So only the boom operator, which is the assistant. Then props and makeup and hair.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are allowed in zone 1. And the zone 2 is all the crews, so directing crew, camera crew, lights and grip crew, sound crew, and like the set builders and stuff, designers. And if you have a video village, you know what a video village is?
What?
You weren't listening.
A video village.
I'll repeat for editing. David. You know what a video village is?
Say it again. Say it again. One more time.
You know what a video village is?
No.
On
What's a
set.
video? What's a video village?
A video village is usually some like a room where the director sits and the director of photography and other people that have to look at the monitor. They have to look at what's filmed at the moment, but they usually
Okay.
sit together. So they have a wireless feed from the camera and a wireless feed from the sound, so they can hear and see what's happening.
Oh, these are the guys that with the chairs. Normally with
Yeah,
those.
with the chairs, exactly. And
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
they're like, they're kind of like in black tents, so they have no light coming in, because they need to see the monitors. That's
Gotcha.
where
Steven
Peter
Spielberg
Jackson is
sits.
sitting and Spielberg is sitting and all these
Yeah.
people sitting and the big people.
Got you.
You can't have that at the moment, so you have to. There are systems where you can send the video signals to iOS devices,
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have that on set. So everyone that has to have Video Village can just watch it on their iPad or on some kind of extra monitor.
Got it.
And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And Zone 3 is Zone 3 is everyone else. So Zone 3 is all the cars, all the stock, all the catering, all the deliveries and
Awesome.
stuff like this. Yeah.
So have you seen any crazy things happening in the streets or any weird stories you've heard of? I'll give you an example is in like Dubai, they have cloud seeding where they induce
I
rain.
saw it.
Did you see
I saw
that?
it.
And
No,
then
I saw your episode yesterday. I actually watched it just
so crazy, no? And then they're cleaning the streets with drones. What are they doing in Austria?
oh,
Anything crazy?
no. I
No?
mean, not as I mean, I'm as I'm always telling, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a certain degree. So if everyone looks left, I don't want to know what's happening on the other side, on our airports and in the world and stuff. But no, I mean, joke aside, no, actually, no, we didn't have any of that crazy stuff because I think the Austrian government trusts their citizens, that they pretty much are good people and
Law
are
abiding.
abiding to the law, and stuff, and which happened, I mean, because I mean I saw drones in Italy and France, or Italy and Spain, with loudspeakers on them, with
Yeah,
cameras
yeah,
and
yeah.
loudspeakers on them, where they would like
Get
tell people
inside, stay away
no.
from each other, all this
And
stuff.
in Austria, it was just, I mean, I'm not an Austrian, and I sometimes have to say I hate Austria for the Austrians, but I mean, I love the country, but sometimes. Okay, so the only thing that happened was police driving around with loudspeakers, and at first the police played for the people because they thought it was a funny thing, because I mean, everyone made, remember when everyone made music at like 6? That happened in Austria too, but some people were super pissed and just shouted like, "Shut the fuck up!"
Oh, at
And
6 p.m. when everyone was supposed to be
yeah,
like clapping and whatnot.
clapping and playing
Got you.
music and stuff, and that trend died down pretty quick. But then the Austrian police did the cringiest thing, man, ever. The corniest fucking thing.
You said that they were acting up on Twitter and stuff. What's going on with
No, no,
them?
no. Twitter, man. The Austrian police on Twitter is fucking funny. No, but they got like a convoy. They had like 7 police cars driving in like a V position, and
Hmm.
everyone had their loudspeakers on, and they played like this super Austrian song that's called "I Am from Austria" from Reinhard Fendrich. He's like, that's like the second Austrian anthem. And it was just, and like Austrian police, or I guess like police everywhere, the police are a little patriots, they're a little right wing. I don't want to say it too loud, but some are. I mean, like I said, they pretty much do their job in Austria, so they're not really crooked. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But let's say their attitude towards foreigners and like some obviously now refugees after this happened in Austria too, they are a little right wing. I would say, and not lean too far out of the window. So this song is, I mean, this song everyone out of Austria, and I'm not out of Austria, so I never really loved the song, but that was just so fucking cringy, and they got so much hate and shitstorm on Twitter and stuff for that, so they stopped doing it. I
Yo,
think they wanted to do it every day, dude.
tell me that story about what they did with the heroin stuff on Twitter.
Oh, that was fucking funny. That was yesterday, I think. I can show it to you. It's super funny.
Explain it
So,
though. Explain it.
yeah. I'll explain. I'll look it up though, because it's actually funny. I love the Austrian, like the Viennese police Twitter channel. It's fucking fun. So if you want to follow LPD Vienna. Well, I'll look it up if it's
LPD Vienna.
yeah.
Any
Yeah,
spaces
no,
or underscore?
LPD Wien, so WIEN, LPD.
Okay. Yeah, but
So
it's not like anyone's gonna follow it because they probably don't speak German.
if you speak German, follow Viennese police. So
LPV Ving.
this is the pic. Wait, I hope it will get darker at one point. Eventually, the camera will
No,
adapt to it.
it's not exposing.
Now it is, I think. Wait a second. I'm really sorry. This sucks about my camera really loud. I've tried to dial down the exposure a lot.
Just
Let's
tell
see.
us what it says. Explain it to us.
Oh,
Okay.
now you see it.
Nice, dope. Oh, not
Oh, now
anymore.
it went out of thing. But this is the rainbow. This is a rainbow out of euro signs, because the euro signs are in a rainbow.
You mean the Euro bills?
The euro bills are in all different kinds of colors.
Yeah.
And the text to it said, how can you craft a rainbow out of money bills? You take colleagues of the police, you let them research, observe. You take two drug dealers and confiscate them in their place. Done. Like done. They say like that's it. Those are the ingredients to make a. I think it's fucking funny.
I get it. It's like the pot of gold at the end of a rainbow kind of joke, no?
Yeah, it's like what ingredients do you
Like
need
a
to build a
leprechaun
rainbow?
or something.
It's so fucking funny. I mean.
That's awesome.
And this is the Austrian, like the Viennese
That's
police.
Austrian. That's German humor. Like
I love it. I love it that they're little. I mean, it's not like too crazy black humor, but it's
still funny.
cute, it's cute of the Austrians. So I love their Twitter channel. It's
So
fucking-
any other cool things you want to talk about? Anything?
I was a bad boy.
Oh, look at that! You got sued.
I got a bill.
We call those tickets. You got a ticket.
I got a ticket. Yeah. Of course, it's a ticket.
50 euros. It says.
This is the LPD. So that says like land, like a police, the police department of Vienna. And I got that because I was skating. Like I told you, I was skating at that. There was this like soccer cage or soccer court, and just the goals were locked off. And we were skating there always, and police always was there, and they were cool with us. So we asked them, and they said, no, guys, we get it. You're skateboarding. It's not a contact sport. You are on your own with your board pretty much. But then at some day, it was, I think it was the 28th. No, it was the 18th of April. We were in the park again, and after the session, we sat together in this like on
On the bench or something.
Yeah, like not on the bench, on the ground. Like there was like just grass and stuff. We sat in the grass, and I was looking all the time, like to kind of like look, okay, where's everyone, And at one point, one of my best friends, he pretty much was my ex roommate. He was too close to me, and right at that moment, two policemen stand behind me.
Shit.
And they asked me and stuff, and I was cool with them. I talked to them and I said like, oh, I feel sorry for you, for like, reminding everyone and saying those three things every single time and stuff, and I did, because I'm a school teacher, or like film school teacher, and I did for the Austrian Police, I did like a workshop for like how they handle this new camera and stuff. And I told these guys, and they kind of felt bad. They gave me the ticket, but they had to do it anyway.
Cool.
And I mean, maybe one more thing, because I think maybe that's interesting, how the Austrian government helps out people now,
Yeah, sure.
That might be interesting. So
because we just got our checks.
Yeah. Oh.
We just got our checks personalized by signed by Donald Trump.
No way. How much?
1,200.
1,200? I got $1,000. So I called it $950 because I had to pay back 50. No, but I mean, I'm a freelancer. I'm self-employed. I have my own business with friends together. So that's different than the employees,
Mm-hmm.
Everyone that's employed, they're kind of like on a short, it's called like short work now, like short employed. So they get their full salary, but they have to work like 10 hours or something per week.
Okay.
So this is what most, then obviously the unemployment rates skyrocketed. Not as crazy as in America, but still also. And for everyone that's like self-employed, like myself, they have like this, like what's it called? It's like this emergency fund or something, and then it's in 2 stages. So stage one was either 500 or 1,000 euros, depending, I think, on how long you had your business. So either you got 500 or you got 1,000. And I applied for it. I filled out the form, and I swear, dude, 15 minutes later, I had the confirmation.
And you had the money.
No, and 2 hours later, they sent another mail that the money has been transferred, and it usually takes like 2 business days until it's like on your account.
Wow, crazy.
That was crazy. So
that's stage one.
That was stage one, and I think everyone just got it. Everyone that just like kind of like, gave correct numbers, and then I think they're not even gonna look too close at those people that got it,
Right.
But now it's stage two, and you can also apply it for stage two. But I'm not going to apply because I have, because I mean, in the first week, everything looked like, okay, I'm going to be out of work because I film a lot, and all the shoots were canceled and everything was canceled. But I was kind of lucky because I know this director, and I actually, that was the funny thing. I was kind of like quarantining during the winter because I was editing a documentary, and anyone that knows editing knows it's kind of like self-quarantine. So I got the job, so I got new jobs from him. So I won't apply for the stage two now, but you can apply for it for the whole year. So it's 5,000
okay.
euros for 3 months. So if I see at the end of the year that I might have not gotten enough, or not, not like, I think it's 50% less than you earned the year before. If that's the case, I can reapply for it.
Okay, so it's still available if you need it, but they're suggesting don't apply if you don't need it.
No one was suggesting it. I just think myself, because if I get money now and then I make too much,
I see.
I have to pay back money, and I'm not the best with keeping money, to be honest. And yeah, no.
So do you have also a warning, a positive note, something to say, or what do you
Like
think?
what? Positive say about Corona?
Yeah, I like maybe motivation, maybe tell these people to stop protesting. I don't know.
No, I think it's time to change, dude. I think I mean, it's inevitable. I think the world, everyone in the world has to change, and I don't know if this ever came out through my sarcastic being, but this is maybe this is the first time I'm not sarcastic. I think this is a chance now that we have time to reflect and think about the most important things in our life. Is it so important, that is our business and everything so important that if we shut it down for a few weeks, that everything goes to shit? Or might it sometimes not just be, important to just hit the pause button, kind of like for a few weeks, and kind of have like a safety nets that holds everyone? Because I mean, this world now, I mean, is crazy. It's I think it has its, what's it called, it
Like
has
it's barriers, like a limit.
it has its limits, and I think we're close to it or past it. I'm not sure.
Are you talking about the ecosystem, or are you talking about
Yeah,
like
the
nature?
ecosystem and everything. No, I mean the ecosystem I mean, yeah, economics in general. I mean, because I think this is what it's showing to us. We're not prepared. We were kind of like sleeping, and if shit like this is happening, and if we take care of our people, everything goes to shit. You know what I mean? This is bullshit. This is what I mean.
So it's like we're not ready for unity,
No,
and we need to be.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I love that the world has different cultures, and the world is kind of like, a rich place. And maybe, maybe I think globalism also got kind of out of hand, and I got the best, and also probably you got the best chance to see it, because you were everywhere, and you see how globalism is affecting every country. You know what I mean? And I think yeah, and it's just, it's business over everything, and it's the richest people that could bail us out fucking easily with peanuts, are still trying to gain more out, probably even out of this crisis. They're trying to make their buck or make a profit out of it. You know what I mean?
Opportunistic, yeah.
Yeah. So I think, it's time to change, and I think it's more blatant, it's more obvious now, because I think, and because now more people start to actually say it also, and kind of like start to ask for a change, because
So
I
this is
think
it's kind of like a stab at capitalism in a way.
yes. Let's put it, yes. No, I mean, not at our system, I mean, maybe it's a stab at capitalism, but I mean, this is just the root of it, maybe. I don't know,
Yeah.
I think we have to have the chance to be able to support endangered groups, without everything going to shit and without everything going broke and
Got you.
without having to doing evaluations on which point it's better to lock down or open up the lockdowns, because people are going to starve to death. You know what I mean? This is
It's
what
almost
I'm
like
saying.
you're talking about like weighing people's lives as well. Are we going to open it up because to save the economy and possibly kill people? Or
I mean, here, look, I'm in Austria. Austria is one of the richest countries in the world, within the, I think, 14 richest countries in the world.
Mhm.
I won't have a problem. I won't land on the street, but fucking
Sure.
everywhere else, this thing is hitting like fucking crazy. So I say I'm lucky. I live in the state, and we have like this. Maybe we're lucky also, and we have these law-abiding people, and we kind of have cool people here. Not all of them, but some of them, and. But I mean, we're rich, we have the capacities, we can do it. We are able to do it. But somewhere else, they have to do this. They have to evaluate. Okay, and that's just bullshit. So I mean, whatever caused this virus, whatever causes another virus, whatever gives us another reason to press pause for a second. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mhm.
I think this should be possible.
Yeah. And still everyone be okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we see it. We have. I mean,
Well, they just said
especially in
we
Austria,
weren't.
we have anything.
They also said they also said we weren't ready for something like this as well. We were told 100 times that some virus or something could happen, and nobody was prepared.
And look at Italy. Look at so many people, so many like
So
countries in
sad.
Europe.
Yeah.
It's so sad, because they just decreased all the capacities in in the emergency rooms and all this stuff. So and then and now just today I read that all the football leagues, all the and also the NBA, all the American, all the big leagues, they didn't have an insurance on this kind of crisis, because they thought it was impossible.
Right.
And right when you think it's impossible, it
Yep.
happens.
Yep.
So, and I mean, look at this. I mean, it's sports. Yes, I get it. It's not the most important thing of your life, but I mean, look at how big all this has become, and how many jobs are dependent on sports. You know what I mean? So I think that's why
Yeah.
also this, like, sports has to kind of come back. And I mean, I'm a big NBA fan, and I just can't wait how it's gonna unfold and how it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then I mean,
Everything happened
traveling
just
has
so
a crazy,
quickly as well. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and that's the crazy thing with like sports. They're traveling all the time. I mean, look at NBA. They have 82 games per team per season, plus playoffs, and they're traveling constantly.
Yeah.
And
And preseason, they're traveling and
yeah,
everything.
and then they have holidays, and then they travel all over the world. And
Right.
so I wonder how this is going to change. How this is going to affect traveling. And
Well, stay tuned on this podcast, man. I'm going to be pretty soon talking to my friends about traveling,
that's awesome.
so that's going to be interesting. We'll
Yeah.
see what goes on in Vienna as far as travel goes.
Yeah, I mean, they're really encouraging us to travel within Austria, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably gonna go to my mom's place. So I saw my mom today for the first time in 2.5 months. So that was also awesome,
Cool,
because she
man.
lives like 2 hours away from here, and she
She lives
was,
out in the country or what?
yeah, she lives out in the country, and she's 71. I mean, my mom looks like she's 55, 60 maybe. she has a really strong immune system, so she still takes no medication to this
Wow,
day.
nice.
71, you know.
Uh-huh.
I mean, she has a fake knee now, and she has fake lenses in her eyes and stuff. But she doesn't take any medication. It's crazy. Still, she's super fit.
Well, be careful when you go out and visit her, because you're coming from the city, you know.
I mean, we met each other. So she came today because she couldn't take it anymore. She just said, "Fuck it, I can't take it anymore."
Yeah,
I
but just
want to
be
see
careful with
you.
her, man. Like, you don't want to get her, sick.
I mean, we see it now, and like I said, I mean, even if in the worst case scenario, I'm not so worried about my mom because she's super super strong, and I mean,
Mm-hmm.
she is in the age group, but I
The
mean,
vulnerable, yeah.
you know how it is, I mean, I'm 36, and I usually people think I'm 29 or something, so I mean,
With the hat on, you look like you're 18, mate. Skater punk.
yeah, no, but I
But
mean, do you think we pretty much covered everything, or the only thing that I might add is what I think has to change, or what is a good thing is that's changing now, is that finally the school system will change, and it has to happen. Look at Finland, how they're doing, and they have the least amount of school, they have no homework, and they're the smartest in the world, or they have the best education in the world. That's it.
yeah, because they do
Project
what kind of schooling do they do? What is that?
project based education
Right.
and more individual education.
I heard about that when I was traveling, actually.
Yeah. So just in short, project based education is you don't have your typical classes like maths or something.
Mm-hmm.
You work within a project. Let's say your project is we open up a bakery, and then you have to factor in everything that I have to do. So like economic things,
Like
biological things with like the dough and what's happening, like chemicals and maths, obviously, and all that stuff.
so like
So
real world, almost like real world teaching.
yep,
Teaching by example for
yep,
yeah.
yep. And like I said, and they have the least amount of school per week, so the least amount of hours in school per week, so per student.
Yeah, it helps with
No homework.
retention, having a project is how you learn best. So
Yeah, no homework, and it's like yeah, because and then because I think then you probably could build new type of groups also, because you're not always together with the same group. You might
mm-hmm.
meet again, but maybe you're more in an interest group, you know what I mean, or like because they find your individual talent, and it's more like you're, let's say, or like in one project you are in that group, and in the other project you are in that group, and then you kind of like also quickly learn how to cooperate with like different groups also, with like different dynamics. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a cool system they got. Really cool system.
Yeah.
Dude,
And
thanks for coming on.
Chinese. Look at the Chinese. They're also actually
Are
they
they
have
getting
also
into that?
they have also pretty interesting approach, but their approach is more like teach people things that they still can do better than computers and robots, because there's always going to be things.
Right.
So they kind of like stop to teach maths, because every every computer can do
Yeah,
this.
my phone does it better. Yeah.
Yeah, your phone does it better, but they try to encourage them to do things where they are still better than machines and computers. So I think that's also an interesting approach, and now you can take all of this into consideration, and maybe update the school system a little bit, because it's older than 100 years old. We are educating factory workers still,
Yeah, true. True.
so that has to change.
Hope it does. It's gone online, so I hope it stays there, and I hope they develop a new system. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
I think so.
All right, brother. I need to go eat,
Cool.
but thanks for coming on, man. What time is it
Yeah,
there?
thanks for having me, dude.
You about ready to go sleep or what?
No, not yet. It's like it's quarter to 11 p.m.
Okay, not too bad.
Something. I'm just gonna watch, I don't know, a little Netflix show or something, and then go to sleep. Tomorrow is Sunday, so, and I'm really sore from skating, so tomorrow will be self quarantining, doing nothing,
Rest
sitting
day.
on the couch,
chill.
Yeah. I mean, thank you, David. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
I'd love to see you again, and then, but I think at some point we'll see again for sure, man.
Yeah, I need to come out there. I need to start getting on the road again and do some traveling, or come out to California, man. You're always welcome.
Now I want to go to, because I was there, I was shooting there video shooting there last, filming there last
Filming,
August, and I didn't get the chance. It was like LA was 7 days and was pretty much 7
Yeah,
days.
we couldn't even meet up. I remember.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I was just so fucked, I mean, we could have probably met up, but yeah.
Yeah, it's no problem, man.
So,
I'll see you again.
There's always the next chance, and we're gonna catch it. We're gonna do it.
Cool,
man.
All right, brother. I need to go grab some food.
Man, it was awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'll definitely see you. I'll call you again this week.
Cool. And thanks for everyone watching. I'm Andy, and I hope you understand my sarcasm.